Okay, we're done round 4. We just finished that one. That was my other video. This one here, we're starting exact same point. We're going to start round 5. Oh, we're not in focus again. Okay, this very first stitch you see right here, we're going to actually just slip stitch into that stitch. Okay, and then we're going to slip stitch right into the chain 2 spot right here. Okay, that's just how we're going to get started. We always kind of want to start in the points. As you get a little farther, you'll notice that you won't always be able to start in the points, but for now, we're going to chain 2 and double crochet into that exact same spot. Okay, and another chain 2 and 2 more double crochets right into that spot. So 1 and 2. Okay, so it doesn't really look pointed, too pointed right now, just because that's our beginning. But there's your beginning. We're going to double crochet into the very next double crochet, which you have to move this over a little bit, and you'll see there's your top of your first one. So we'll double crochet into that. Okay, and then if you look here, you'll see that we have 2 that are right in the little V at the bottom. Okay, the upside down V. These 2 we're going to skip. We're not going to crochet into those ones. We're going to do a double crochet into this third one. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're always going, oops, I split my yarn again. Into that third one. Okay, we are always going to be skipping the double crochets at the bottom of the valleys. The valleys will be a little bit more defined later on. Okay, we've come to a chain 2 spot. In every chain 2 spot, you're going to do, according to the pattern, it's called a large shell. And the large shell is 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. So, in here, 2, 1, 2, and chain 2. Get that one folded for you. And 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Sorry, I know I'm not really explaining the double crochet to you, but I think you know how to do that. Again, just slide it over here just to make sure that you're not missing that stitch. Okay, so we're going to double crochet into the very next one. Okay, and then you're at the valley, so we're going to skip 2, 1, 2, right in the valley. So this third one we're going to go into as a double crochet. Okay, and again a chain 2 spot, so we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. And 2 double crochets. Okay, and as before, you see we've got our points started already. As before, we're going to slide this over a little bit because we don't want to miss that one. That is the most common mistake made doing a 12-point pattern, is to miss the one right after the point. So we have to make sure that we're always getting that one. Okay, and again we're at the valley, so 1, 2 are missing, and we're going to go in the next one. Okay, and as you can see, we're at another chain 2 spot. Again, we're going to do a large shell in there, which is 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. So 1, 2, 1, whoops, 2 chains, and 2 double crochets again. 1 and 2. Okay, slide this over. As you can see, you can't really make out that stitch now, the way I've got it. So slide this over, there we go, now you can see it. Okay, double crochet into that. Again, we're just using double crochets and chain 2s, that's the pattern. Okay, we're going to miss these 2 because they're right in the valley, and we're going to do 1 in here. Okay, now this is kind of the pattern. Each time you go around, it's going to increase by 1. You'll see what I'm talking about on the next round. Okay, that was the point, and we're going to move this over a little bit, make sure we catch that one. And valley, skip 2, and into that third one. and chain 2 space. So we're going to do a two double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Okay, again, slide it over just to make sure we get that very first one, I should say. And a double crochet there. In the valley, skip 2 and go into that third one. Okay, you just need to keep in mind that every time you come to one of those valleys, you're going to be skipping the 2 in the middle. That's never going to change. And when you get to a point, you're always going to do 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Or as the pattern would state, a large shell. Look at that, I just messed up. I was talking to you and I've got now 2 double crochets and 3 double crochets. Take one of those out. And that's an easy mistake to do as well. Okay, again, move it over, make sure we get that first one. Okay, we're in the valley, so 1, 2 we're missing, and we're going to go in that third one. It's a little bit confusing at the first few rounds of this, but as I said, that you are going to do now just the same pattern over and over. You can make this as large as you want, just by continuing to go around, as I'm going to show you. That point's done. Move this over. Make sure we get into that first one. Okay, and a valley, so we're skipping 2 and we're going in the third. And chain 2 space, so it's a double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and move that over just so we can make sure we got it. Okay, if I can just quick here, get up to the end for you, so we can show you that the pattern is just going to start repeating itself, and each round you're adding an extra 24 stitches. It sounds a little strange, but each point you're going to be adding 2 extra stitches to. Move that over. Yep, see, I went a little bit too far. Again, there's a valley, so we're skipping those 2. Doesn't matter how many years you've been crocheting for, you still end up making these little mistakes. You start getting into the groove and you don't really pay attention to what you're doing. That's why you always have to count. Even after quite a few years I've been crocheting, I still have to stop and count. Everyone makes mistakes on it, so... Okay, so we're almost to the end here, as you can see. We're going to, again, still continuing the pattern. We just made our point here. We need to go into that first one as a double crochet. Okay, and then we're going to miss 2 at the valley, and then we're going to go into that last one, okay? That one's right here, so we're skipping 1, 2. Should turn it towards you again. 1, 2, and then we're going to go into that third one there. It helps to have some fingernails to do this. Pull it through. Okay, it's a double crochet. And then again, we're just going to connect to the top of the chain, the starting chain 2. So, I don't know if I can get this into focus, but we've got 1, 2, so it's going to go into the top of the chain 2. Okay, so we now have 5 rounds done. And as you can see, your points are starting to take shape. Okay, we've already established the pattern stitch, so again we're just going to keep going around the same way. Get our hook back in there. So this will be the start of round 6, and again I just want to slip stitch right into this very first stitch here, just because if we do it all the way over to here like that, it's going to look all bunchy. We don't want it to look bunchy, so we're going to slip stitch into that first one there. Okay, slip stitch there, and then slip stitch into that chain 2 space. Okay, in order to start it off, because in the points I said 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in each point. Because we've just started this one, we're going to chain 2 and do 1 double crochet, because your chain 2 counts as your double crochet. So you're going to chain 2 and then do 2 more double crochet into that exact same spot. Now this is where the pattern kind of repeats, but you're going to add an extra stitch each time. I'm going to move this over, make sure that we're going into the very first stitch. You're going to do a double crochet there. Okay, and oh, look at that, there's an extra stitch, so we're going to do 1 in that stitch too. Okay, and we're at the valley, we're going to skip 2, so 1, 2, and then we're going to go into this third one. And there's that extra stitch, so we're going to go into the fourth one, the third one and the fourth one. Okay, we're at a point, so it's double crochet, double crochet, chain 2, double crochet, and a double crochet. Okay, again, just slide that over a little bit. Okay, and as you can see, we've got 1, 2 we can go into here. So go into the first one, and then go into the second one. And we're at the valley, so we skip 2, 1, 2, go into the third one. And then go into the fourth one. It's getting bigger, so it's kind of going to get a little bit in the way now. Okay, we're at another chain 2 space, so we're going to do a large shell in there. According to the pattern, it's a large shell, so which is 2 double crochets and chain 2 and 2 double crochets. Okay, give this a little slide over just so we can see. Okay, so we're going to go into the first 2. And we're going to skip the 2 at the valley, and we're going to go in the next 2. Okay, so this is kind of how the pattern is going to be repeating itself, so that you can make this as big as you want, or as small as you want. Okay, again, you're in the first 2, then skip the next 2, and then into the last 2. So 1, 2, skip these 2, and then go into this one and this one, and then we're at the corner again. Okay, so I'm going to pick up the pace here just because we want to get around to the end. I'm sure that's happened to everyone. It slips out again. Happens to me more when I'm trying to film, but since this is only about my 3rd film, I can't really complain too much about it, I guess. Okay, so skip 2. Believe it or not, I'm still only halfway around. It takes a while to go around sometimes. If I knew how to edit these, I could edit it for you, but so you wouldn't have to sit here and watch me keep crocheting around in a circle, but I'm just working the same repeating pattern over and over. When I get around to the end of this round here, I will show you how I change colors in this. I don't do it exactly the way that she's got written in her pattern, just because I find that my way seems to be easier for me. Everybody's going to find their own little ways to do things. Mine happens to be, I like to change my colors and my points. Find it's a little easier to hide everything. Okay, now, well, I still got a few more points to go here. Skip 2 in the valley, and in the chain 2 spot, we're making a large shell. And all I'm doing is just double crocheting around using the pattern. From here on in, it's the same thing over and over. You're just going to double crochet into every available double crochet. Except in the valley. You're going to skip those 2 in the valley. Okay. Each point we're making a large shell, which is how you are adding the extra 2 stitches to each point. Okay, and now I'm almost to the back around to the side here, right to the beginning. And the first 2, we're going to go into them, and then we skip the 2 in the valley. So 1, 2. Now, because these were slip stitches at the beginning, it's going to be a little bit tricky to get into them, but that's why I have that nice Bates hook with the sharp edge. It's easier for me to grab a hold of those. Okay. It might be a struggle for you, but depending on what kind of hooks you're using. Okay, this will be the last one here. It needs a double crochet. Okay, and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of the starting chain 2. So here's your starting chain 2. 1, 2 into the top there. Okay. Okay. So that's your end of round 6. I will change color right now to the green. It's getting too big to put in the camera. Okay, and we're just going to flip it around here, just because I'm out of time. And I've got my green. Okay, and all I'm going to do is pull it through the point. I'm going to start at the point, just pull it through the point, and do like a chain. Pull your tail, and then I'm going to chain 2, and double crochet into the exact same one. Be sure that you're securing your tail at the back. Okay, so chain 2, double crochet, and we're in a point, so we need to chain 2, and 2 more double crochets. Okay, get rid of the tail. Alright. So again, just shove everything over, make sure you're catching that first one, double crochet into that, and the next one, and one more, because again, we've added an extra stitch to this round. So we're in the valley, we're going to skip those two, and we're going to go into the third one, and instead of having 2 stitches we're going to go into as we go up, we're going to have 3. There's 1, 2, and 3. So I'll double crochet into each one of those. Okay, and you're at the, oops, sorry, you're at the corner again, at the point, so it's double crochet, chain 2, and 2 more double crochets in there. Okay, make sure that you're pushing that over. Again, we've got, now we have 3, right? 1, 2, 3 that we're going to have to go into with a double crochet. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, and again, we're going to skip the valley, so 1, 2 in the valley, and we're going to do 1, 2, 3 there. So into that one, another one. It's starting to get big enough that it's in my way now. Okay, again, we're at a point, so we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2, and 2 double crochets. Okay, so I'm going to have to stop there. This is the way the pattern is going to be keep repeating itself. I can put the camera up here. Okay. Your pattern does lay flat. I just don't really have it on a big flat surface right now, but you're just going to continue on with the pattern like that. You've got, each time you go down, you're going to be adding an extra stitch just because of the way your tips go. Okay? And each time you go around, you're just going to add an extra stitch in. And that's it.